Hey yo, everybody. How are y'all?
Hello.
Yeah, party people. We're actually in March. Our quarterly party is coming up.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
Shannon.
yeah, it is almost March.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the end of Saturday is the first.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Working a few more touches on my Kickstarter before the launch tomorrow. That's
Nice.
exciting.
Very
I
nice.
forgot to pull up the YouTube chat. I'm gonna go see if there were any comments that were missed by Restream because a lot of times it will refresh the comment section when a new live goes live. I
Oh,
don't see it.
there
So
wasn't
if there
anything. Yeah.
were, YouTube also deleted them. So
Oh, like comments or like in the chat?
chat.
Oh yeah, no, there was nothing in the chat.
Okay.
Uh, you saying that it was almost March just reminded me that I have to make a note to pay rent
Oh yeah.
at the end of the month.
I am glad to be the reminder of any and all responsibility related things.
it
So
was it was him, but also I would have figured it out earlier, just or later on. But
I mean, I have full confidence you, in fact, would not have forgotten to pay your rent. But I am happy to help in any small way that I can. I'm
Rent is
trying to
hard
share.
to forget.
yeah, I mean, it is a thing of I'm at my new place. There will be entire bookshelves along this wall. You can see like the start of one and
That,
then
okay.
the other. Um, but yeah, I'm living in like with friends in their like childhood home. So like there's at least four people who would get on my ass if I didn't pay rent.
That is
And I
also
live with
very
three of
true.
them. So
So, how is everybody's weekend? I uh, co organized the Storytellers Hearth, though a lot of my weekend was dedicated to while I was getting research done, also resting because kid A got the stomach virus Tuesday, kid B got it Wednesday, me and kid C both like we just said fuck it, we'll get it together on Thursday, and then we were recovering. It was really funny because I'll go ahead and reveal kid C was my oldest, right? So kid B got it, and then kid C got it, and my oldest comes in, and I'm like, "Hey, your sibling has it now," and he goes, "When's my turn?" And I'm like, "Oh, you want a turn?" And he goes, "No, no, I don't want a turn." So then the next day, he's not feeling well. An hour or so later, I'm not feeling well, and I looked over at him, and I'm like, "You just had to insist we get turns." So he and I were sick together, and then my husband got it Saturday. So unfortunately, I could only go to one stream I wasn't on, but I also think I was on like half the streams, so I still went through a lot of the weekend. I
I
just, I was gonna say I try not to be
oh
so obvious in my egocentrism that I only show up when I'm streaming.
I had where my midterms were last week, and a snowstorm also happened last week. So I showed up to my math midterm an hour and a half late. That was fun.
Oof.
But I made it through, aced it, had to write an essay, wrote it in like a day and a half. Just this last midterm, wild. But because the thing is that I've been, moving and then sick, so like I've been like doing projects like basically on the day of instead of me doing them like typically about a week beforehand. But now it's reading week, for me, spring break, if you will, and so I have the week off, and my plan during this stream is to make a battle plan of getting stuff done, but then also hanging out with all the people who are like, "You have the week off, let's hang out." And what else? Oh, during that week of midterm craziness, I also nearly ended up on the set of The Boys and met our mayor on the same day, actually. That I got snowed in and I had the late math test, but yeah, wild week, wild week. And over the weekend, the latest book in that series I cannot stop talking about the Gay Sports Mafia guys came out, and it came out on Saturday, which was also my favorite character of that book's birthday, and I was like, oh, there's going to be good moments with him, I know it. And it was a thing of, I was also on my time of the month, like it hit right that day, and so I was like, I'll do grocery shopping so I'll survive. And then I'm in bed with that book for the rest of the night. And so from like 6 until like 6 p.m. until like 3 o'clock in the morning, I was reading. And the book was massive, so I only got half of the way through.
Fair enough.
And
Oh, jeez.
I finished it up last night, but and it was so good. It was so. But now I'm already like jonesing for the third one, and it's not going to be until probably like, I don't know, like later in the year, probably maybe even early next year. So yeah, good times though. But
Noise.
and I also learned that one of my roommates, who I'm buddies with, has read the first couple books in this series, but has not caught up. And now I'm like, oh, we can talk about it together. But yeah,
I'll say
Tina's been eventful.
The face I made was not for your weekend. It was because a pop-up ad came up on the computer that was like, discover your future baby's face in seconds with the AI baby generator. And I was like, what? Now I have to question things my husband installed. It's fine. Actually, don't have to question because I have a pretty good idea of the things he has installed, but it's fine. R.P., how was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty good. I will say my roommate would be very jealous of you almost ending up on the boys set. She's very big boys fan. But pretty nice and relaxing.
Okay,
We also had a big snowstorm last week.
it's like we're all in the same region.
Oh yeah, because you're in North Carolina, so we're
Yeah.
same time zone. Yeah.
Yep. So thankfully I didn't miss much work just because I was sick, but we had the snowstorm, so it kind of like meshed pretty well together. So I only actually missed one day. And then started feeling better Thursday-ish. Watched most of Lucifer while I was sick, just for
As we do.
shits and giggles.
I need to catch up on
And then
so
did
bad.
some Magic the Gathering on Friday, and then was doing in the chat for some of the streams for the Storytellers Hearth, which
Yes.
was nice.
Who is your favorite Lucifer character? There are wrong answers.
Um,
I will accept a top 3.
I have only watched like, I want to say like 2 or 3 episodes. I remember liking Lucifer, but
That's a good answer. It's not a wrong answer.
Yeah.
You're good.
yeah, I mean Lucifer himself is Tom Ellis does a very good job.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite versions. Not my favorite version of Lucifer, but one of my favorite versions of him. He definitely plays the idea of Lucifer I like the most, which is spoiled golden child who got grounded forever. And he's not actually about damning people so much as punishing them. I love that version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then Maze is interesting, and Amenadiel is also very interesting.
Mazakine is an excellent answer. I love Amenadiel, like especially after he starts going through his firing, I guess I'll say, his demotion. Falling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
you
Yes.
said firing, and I immediately thought of like setting on fire rather than.
I realized I'm like that could bring on the wrong imagery. So that's why I started looking for more biblical terminology for what happened. He essentially lost his job as an archangel. So I think
Appropriate.
yeah. So Shannon said, "Hey RP, I'm just listening," and looked up when you said you were in the streams this weekend. Lucifer is a good one. Actually, didn't care for. I like Chloe. I do see that Chloe, like, she does unfortunately fall under the trope of the unfun female lead because of a bunch of reasons, but I adore her. Maze is, like I said, a great answer. Detective
douche.
I love him and Lucifer's relationship so much, though. They are great together.
I assume Detective Douche is
then,
not his, like, credits name, but rather a nickname he gets.
That's what Lucifer refers to him as, yes.
Ah, I see.
His name is Daniel something. I forget his last name. Now we're all gonna stare into space. I wonder. Okay, so Lucifer, Detective Daniel something.
Eva, what time zone are you in? Cause
Espinoza. His name is Daniel Espinoza. Hey, Eva.
Huh, interesting.
Ah! I was turning and caught my big toenail on the desk there.
Because the dog jumped down, like, right before you did that, I thought you got bit. like a playful nip sort of bit, but...
Eva, what are you sending me? I'm gonna click on it because I trust you.
That's the Twitch link to your Twitch.
Why are we linking me to me?
That is a good question.
Hey, I'm Jessica. Oh, you were just letting people know. Free follow and alert. You can give me pennies. I like pennies. Oh, it's not really morning. It's just after 7 p.m. Central. Just tucked the kiddo into bed. I figured, look, it looked like my Twitch URL, but then I was like, why? Because I did not see this message. Had I seen this message, all would have been understood, but I missed that. So, my husband has finally confirmed that he is the yellow blocks on the calendar, so I know what weekends he's working. Let's go ahead and introduce ourselves.
Oh, God.
We have a new guest. Definitely not because I was called out over the weekend.
Oh God! Why did I wasn't prepared for this? I got complacent. I haven't even been putting links in the chat forever.
You always can stay on your toes. RP knows.
Oh God! I'm kicking the last of a cold, and I get like sympathetic coughs now.
I like that. I was like, let's do the thing we're supposed to do, and suddenly both my co-hosts die. Just taking them.
God, I used to do, because it was part of my like pre-stream thing that I would open up my little like thing of all the stuff, but I didn't do that because we've stopped doing it for the longest while. I have a
we didn't have new people for the longest while, and now we do again.
Oh, God,
you're welcome for being a pain in the ass.
As always. How's it feel, the whole 15 minutes you've been on stream, to be directly part of the razzing and harassing?
Okay. Yeah, that is a good question, though. How do you... I mean...
After the intros. But yes, Eva, this is, in fact, RP's debut screen appearance. So, the face reveal. Tina, when you are ready.
Well, I did just finish coughing. Your timing was perfect for that, though. I coughed, and then you were like, when you're ready. Oh, God, I'm, like, flustered now. I feel like it's, like, the first time I've done this, because it's been so long. But, Hi everyone, I'm Tina, aka Cabby Online. I make queer comics of the smoochy and spooky variety, including Coffin Bed, a slice of life about a vampire lesbian and her human girlfriend. And my current project, One Mystery Treat, is a contemporary secret admirer romance where the mystery is a secret admirer and there's lots of cake and conspiracy boards involved. Um, and I will throw my links in the socials, in the chat as I as I used to do. I'm rusty. It's been too long. I have my little script pulled up here, but I only pulled up half of it, and I've been riffing for part of it.
I have noted.
But yeah, that's me.
RP, your turn.
Hi everyone. I'm RP. I'm usually in the chat. I don't really have links yet. I'm still working on that stuff. Um, I will be looking for beta readers here pretty soon, though. There's that. I am in the Sam's Realm and Troublemakers Discords, but that's about it.
Those are both very fun places to be. And
Yes.
I am writing Mom Samantha on Acid. On my channel, I talk about writer things, parent things, and writer-parent things. On Mondays, I host these lives, which are mainly write-ins. But next month, we are going to have a Flash Fiction free-for-all, much like we did last week. And we're also going to have a quarterly party. Plus, there's 5 Fridays, so an extra stream for all the fun times. On Wednesdays, I do Whip Wednesday with CB Friends. This week, the Whip Wednesday is on my channel. They are from 1 to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. On Fridays-ish, any Friday we can make work, we're going to try to do Baldur's Gate playthroughs. We already have episode 1 up on CB's channel. It's called Barbarian Solutions. It's absolutely great. You'll get to see what a game gremlin I can be when I want to. And 2 Saturdays out of the month, we do book talks where we discuss books that either I really love or CB really loves. Right now, it's her turn for Scum Villain Self-Saving System Volume 3, which is going to finish up the plot arc. And then Volume 4 is a bunch of extras and specials and stuff, which will be fun. So, we'll be doing the 8th and the 22nd for next month, not 2 instead of 3 because our mom's visiting the first weekend, so we had to adjust. But it's good. We're flexible here. And you can follow my links down below. Sign up for my newsletter because that is my priority this week, to get it written and sent out. And yeah, so what's everybody going to be working on tonight? Tonight I'm going to be doing admin-y stuff and trying to finish Love from A to Z because it's my last Year of Faves February read, and I would have had it done by now if my house had not died for a week. I was avoiding reading it while I was sick because I was really afraid I would contaminate the pages and make somebody else sick. I was like, no, I cannot touch it. It's public property. So, Tina, chat, what will y'all be working on?
I'm going to set up my game plan for the week of, as I said, balancing the sort of like social and productivity for my week off of school. And I do also have to investigate because my library did a cool thing where they released limited edition library cards for
Cool.
I think they called it its Freedom to Read week. It's basically a week against like banned books. And so I would have to, once we come back from the sprint, I'll show off my new card. But yeah, they had 3 designs to pick. One of them was sort of like hinting at like burning books, Fahrenheit 451, and so I was like, that one! And I had to do a bunch of other errands today, and then saw that they were doing these limited edition cards, and was like, okay, I will go out then, instead of putting it off until tomorrow. But yeah, I gotta figure out, because they changed my library card number to do that, I gotta figure out, like, if my Libby app and all that is still all hooked up, or if I have to, like, re-sign in. But, yeah. And hopefully I'll actually work on my own comic and things.
I'm gonna be working on my beta reader form. I got started on that earlier, and just need to finish it up and then post it in the Discord servers.
If you want, I can post it in chat for you as well.
Oh, yes, that would be nice.
Sweet.
Mhm.
So Heather will be working on a dragon novella. We like that. Eva would like more information on your book.
I shall
Yeah,
put
I
it
would
in
like
chat.
more information about it.
So it's I settled on calling it a dark urban fantasy. I'm not sure how correct that is, just because I'm not sure how like exactly what genre it fits in, but that's what I've settled on for now.
That could definitely be a question to put on the beta reader form too, is what genre do you feel this
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
my laptop is like, man, I'm dying. I'm like, hold on, I'll put you to sleep. Not using you right now anyway. While RP takes his note, Eva is resetting the kitchen, playing in Canva, and watching more Love After Lockup, my current trash TV pick. Fair enough. Jessica is going to read Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, Volume 5, and then try to get some words in Krampus. CB and I will be hitting up that series at some point. I don't know if we're doing that one or Heaven's Official Blessing for her next. She may have told me, and I may just not remember. Until I read them myself, they all merge together as the same entity. But continue. Do you have a blurb or anything that you've, like a summary for your story that you've put potentially on your beta reader form that you could read to the people?
Or you
Uh,
can DM it to me and I can post it in the chat.
that is one of the things I am still working on,
Okay.
but
He
I
will,
will do that.
he will give you more information on his story after
Yes.
he sorted the information out.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yes.
so I'm really thirsty, and my child is probably asleep because my summons are not working. How inconvenient when the magic stops working effectively. So we're gonna go ahead and do our first sprint. I don't know why I occasionally become a submarine fox. I'm using the same mic I always do. I'm gonna just scuba dive today. All right. We'll be back in 3, 2, 1, go. I mean, we'll sprint. Y'all Hey you, and we're back. I had to fight with the mouse to get it back over here. So how did everybody do that sprint? I will start us off. I checked my email. I did a guest call on my like a post that's basically like, hey, I'm making my March schedule. If anyone wants to guest on Mondays, hit me up. But said like slightly more professionally. Hal came down to discuss something with me. And then I was at an awkward place to start a new task, so I colored while I listened to part of a video. I cannot hear you.
Tina, you're muted.
As I always do. It's lucky though. I had music on in the background, so and I didn't realize we were back yet. So for a while there, it was still playing. But yeah.
I finished the beta reader form and the little blurb that I'm gonna put on it, and then I started typing up my beta reader request.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Do you want to share? Well, would you like to share the blurb? It's totally fine if not. And like Tina said, you could copy paste it, and she or I could read it for you.
Or post it in chat.
I was gonna say I can post it in chat. I was thinking about that actually.
Okay.
I'm so excited to see. I did grab on stream my my new library card, so I can show off if we want.
Go for it.
Okay, so here's the old one. Is basic. I've never particularly liked the design, but here's the new one. Is it mirrored? Yeah, it's mirrored. Hold on one sec.
Just hold it up. I'll read it.
It says ignite minds, not books.
Okay.
There we go. I didn't know I was mirrored this whole time, but yeah, I'm happy about it.
I like the thing. Ignite minds, not books.
Yeah, there was also freedom to read them, and then there was one more, but they were all in the same like design of like the black with the, but yeah, I'm happy about it. It's quite the improvement, and also my old one was quite dingy, so.
That's fair. The way our library does it is like they have a little art contest for the kiddos once a year, and then the top 3 or 4. No, it's the top 3 art by the kiddos that like they're all voted on, and the top 3 become 3 choices for a library card, and then they also have some standard choices for boring people who don't want to support the children's creativity.
Damn, we have that competition like for the kids, but it's for bookmarks, not for cards. I wish it was for the cards. But
I have to look at my cards to make sure there's no incriminating evidence of which my small town library. But
yeah, you might have to put your finger. I was like, I've mentioned before what city I'm from. It's fine.
Let me just grab my bank card by accident. Nope. Okay, so here's one.
Oh, cute.
That's cute.
It has my library's logo up there, so here's another one.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah. And then I'm missing someone's card. What card am I missing? Oh, my card. Where did I put my card? You two may talk while I frantically search for my library card. Oh, also, one year I went to a convention, and it was Anime Expo last year, I believe. And this was the hotel room piece.
Oh, cute.
Oh, nice.
So I was
At one point, I had a limited
Probably.
edition like bus pass that the company that does our bus passes had like teamed up with DC, and so it was a pretty Wonder Woman one, and then I lost it on my keys. I
No.
was so upset. And the thing is too is that like I only got it because a friend of mine knew that I was going to that show to like sell my art and was like, while you're there, can you please buy like the Batman one for me and I'll pay you the money. And I was like, yeah, sure, because he knew that like I'm there earlier than later than attendees, so I could sneak in. And it was a thing of yeah, so I like got one for him as well, and like he gave me the money to get one for me too, because I was like faffing about it because they were kind of pricey. And it was lucky, he was very smart to do that, because I was in line like first day, like 20 minutes before the show started, and like one of the guys ahead of me was like, oh, is there a limit to how many you can buy? And they were like, no. And then he proceeded to buy, it was like 4 designs, and he proceeded to buy 5 of each, which was like in the hundreds of money. And I was like, thank God I am getting. And it was also a thing too of like one of them, like there was 2 versions of each design. One of them had like the logo for the convention, and then one of them didn't. And so everyone was going for that one. So like when I got up, I was like, I had messaged my friend being like, is it okay if it has the logo of the convention? He was like, yeah, whatever. And so I was like, okay, 2 of those, please. But and I imagine they sold out the next day. They haven't done that since, as far as I know, which sucks because I'd like to get another one. But,
yeah, that person was probably either buying for a friend group or was a reseller. So.
Oh no, they were definitely a reseller.
Yeah,
because like the way they abashedly were like limit, and then we're like, I'm gonna buy from every single design multiple copies. I'm like, I don't think they were buying for friends. Oh, that's cute.
That's
adorable. Oh, I
adorable.
like with the little planets and little very cute.
Yes.
But yeah.
My husband's is boring. It's just our library. Because, well, to be fair, he got his a different year than me and the kids did. So I don't remember what the art for that year was. Gonna check, see how. Yes, thank you. I really love that my library does the kids art thing. My library is like super supportive of all age demographics getting into reading and everything. There's like there's the kids section, which has a little playroom in it, and it has a theater where they show like kids movies and stuff. And then also they have a teen area where if you're an adult and stuff, you're allowed to like go in there and, pick up books and stuff, but you're not allowed to hang out in there if you're not a teenager. So,
is that the library we went to?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, I don't remember the theater. You maybe pointed it out to me, but I don't remember seeing it.
Well, no, because we have no reason to go in the kids' movie theater.
But you didn't point out where it was. Like, at least from what I remember. You might have, but...
Like, okay, it's not...
I ran around the kids section with the kiddos.
Yeah, and
somehow I missed it.
Yeah, well, because it's just a room in the back that they set up as, like, with a big screen and stuff. It's not like...
Oh, I see. It's not like a theater. Okay,
yeah,
because actually there is a
movie
library.
Theater or like a drama theater or anything. It's just this little room that they set up with like chairs and stuff, and they have a popcorn machine in there. They weren't playing movies the day we went, so there's no reason.
It was
the room might not have been open. Yeah.
Maybe next time I'm visiting, we'll get me a library card.
It's $10 if you're not a state resident, but like that's it. That's all they care.
Honestly? That wouldn't be a bad idea. Because then I can use it on Libby too and see if there's anything like that you guys have that I don't.
I'm gonna go to Nashville. Like I signed up for it online, but they're like, you have to come here in person to actually get the card before we let you use the digital stuff. And I'm like, fine, but like it services my address, so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to Nashville. I am increasing my Libby inventory.
Yeah,
Nope,
Next
my
time,
container. No one else is
next retreat, I'll have to keep that in mind to see about getting a U.S. library card.
R.P. says the Reaper is a dark urban fantasy. Oh, you are R.P. Okay, hold on. The Reaper is a dark urban fantasy. It tries to explore how our worst experiences and darkest moments of our past affect the people we become. I like that.
I'm excited.
I did mom stuff during that sprint and got about halfway through volume 5. Nice. Managed 535 words. Sweet.
Nice.
Yes. I am also excited to read it, especially since I don't think I have any big commitments in March. So I should be able to beta read. April, I'm working a convention. So in my mind, I'm like, I have no big commitments in April. And then I'm like, I'm going to die. It's going to murder. We're switching seasons. I don't have my migraine meds yet. I cannot make commitments in April. So it's fine. But March is fine. Not doing anything.
So I procrastinated just long enough.
The perfect amount. I was very busy in February. But March should be fine. I don't even think I have that many books to read for the year of favorites. Hold on, let me check.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. Just 8. And most of them are comics. So I'll be binge reading those bitches.
Nice.
Noise.
I have so many books to read because I had to go to the library before this time to change my address and then proceeded to borrow a couple of graphic novels. And then Libby has just been assaulting me with holds. I keep fending off. Because it was happening during midterms week and I was like, I can't. And also knowing that the book I read over the weekend was coming up too, being like, oh no, I can't start anything until I get to that one because I'll immediately drop it. But
I have slowly been listening to Inheritance right now. I'm in no rush to finish it because I don't yet have a Libro credit to buy the next book. And I have several months wait on the hold, and apparently just nobody wants to read Inheritance on Libby. So I'm like, hey, that's fine with me. I'll just keep it. But it's my workout book at the moment, and I am almost back to the place where I had stopped reading before, because before, I had been listening to it on a drive to and from a convention, but at the time I did not read books faster, and the narrator was putting me to sleep, and I couldn't have that while I was driving on the interstate. But also I was getting to a point that was upsetting me, and in my brain I know distinctly where my emotions got upset at the book. And then when I got home, I just got too busy and I was like, no, I'm still mad at you. So I just hadn't picked it up yet, but a Murtag came out and I was like, I will do anything for my boy. I'll get through that book. So, but I'm getting back there. I haven't remembered a whole lot from the series, but then we're getting through and we're getting to the siege and I'm like, oh my God, this is the 3rd siege. I fucking remember. I hated how many sieges there were. I don't like war novels. I don't like reading about war, especially when they start killing the named characters that I've come to give a fuck about. And one of the ones I really liked just burned to death. I mean, he went out in a really badass way, but he just burned to death. And I'm like, oh yes, the old feelings. They're coming back. And I'm like, oh, I know. And now I have deeper knowledge that came back to me. The files unlocked, the mind glowed, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna go do that awkward confessional thing with the love interest, and then I'm gonna get annoyed at as he sulks entitledly and like a brat, and then there's gonna be another siege, and then I think, if I remember correctly, and then during the next siege, my boy comes in, but my boy is all mind controlled and shit. But the main character and other people are going to be mad at him for doing things against his will because he's like, you know what, nobody likes me anyway. And I'm like, my poor boy. And that was the part that I ceased reading at. And so I'm like, I'm so close to being there, but I don't want to get there. But I want to get past it. So.
What exactly is this book about? All I know so far is that there's sieges and there's mind control, and I'm trying to sit here and remember if I've heard you talk about it before, and I'm coming up completely blank.
Okay. So the series used to be called Aragon, but then at some point, I want to say after the second book came out, it started being called The Inheritance. It was the Inheritance trilogy, but during the writing of book 3, he realized he needed 2 books because of how much he had planned and everything. So it became the Inheritance cycle, which I think is like, given the book's themes, that's a really good title change.
I like calling it cycle rather than series for like a fantasy. Yes. I think that's a lot of fun.
It's also because inheritance in various forms, like metaphorical, symbolic, and literal, are all really big themes in the series. But yeah, it's essentially kind of about 3 brothers in a way. Like 2 of them are actually biologically half brothers, but they were not raised together, but they do form a brotherly bond, and like they genuinely care about each other. And then the other 2 are cousins who grew up together like brothers. So there's Aragon, who is the half brother of Murtagh and the cousin of Rowan. And so it's like him and his 2 brothers who don't actually know each other, but that's fine. And so there's a lot of like different dynamics and stuff. And for a while though, Murtagh's just like, he figures out who Aragon's mom is, and then he's all like, yeah, no, we're brothers, bro. And Aragon's like, oh my god, I have the worst biological father in the world, Murtagh. I refuse to believe this. And Murtagh is like, well, yeah, no, dad sucks. You knew that though. he's like, but we're brothers. And he's like, but no, I cannot emotionally handle having your father. And Murtagh's like, but we're brothers. And I'm like, we're brothers, Aragon. Okay, your dad's dead. It doesn't matter. But no, that Aragon actually had a different dad, which someone in the thing is like, why would Murtagh lie to you? And I'm like, I don't think he lied to him. I just don't think the thought that his mother cheated on his father entered his mind, which I think is fair. Because as far as we know, Murtagh and his mom had a fine relationship. He was she was just like kept away from him, and like he was used as a way to control her because she loved him. So yeah, they had a good relationship. But yeah, so but Rowan, and let me tell you, shortly after Aragon finds out that like he and Murtagh are brothers, he and Rowan, who have been happy being cousins their whole life, like they know they're cousins. It's Aragon's mother was Rowan's dad's sister, so it's like they know they're cousins. Their parents were siblings. They've grown up together and everything. They're like, we're very close cousins. But then all of a sudden, Aragon's like, Rowan, you're like my brother. And Rowan's like, yeah, you're like my brother too. From that moment, Aragon's just got like this hyper focus on Rowan being, he's like, oh yeah, you're my brother. We're brothers. And Rowan's just like, yeah, I love you. Love you too, bro. Like, I don't know what you're going through, but okay. And I'm like, my boy Murtagh done dirty. This is not his fault. None of this is his fault. Some of the murder is his fault, but nothing else is his fault. As far as the mind control goes, like there's an ancient language. It's called like the true language, and if somebody knows like your true name, then they can force you to like swear oaths and everything. And apparently Galbatorics are big bad, can even take control of your body. Like there is a scene where a dragon rider and his dragon, like Aragon sees it through a special connection they have, and he sees Murtagh and the other dragon, like they're fighting with the older rider, and then Galbatorix takes possession of Murtagh's body and uses Murtagh to kill the other dragon rider. And like, so it's like he gets possessed, he gets mind controlled. They would have all been greatly fucked if, like, during the first big duel / reveal that Murtagh has been made to swear to Galbatorix, he and, like, Aragon duel and everything, and Murtagh solidly kicks Aragon's ass. And then he's all like, so, bro, are you gonna come side with me and Galbatorix? It's like, his methods are bad, but, like, his goal is just to reunite everybody and stuff, right? And Aragon's like, that's bullshit. You know it's bullshit. And Murtagh's like, well, I tried. He's just like, I tried to capture you. I only promised I would try to capture you. But I have to warn you, this is only gonna work once. The next time we see each other, he's gonna make me swear tighter oaths. And he's basically like, I'm using a loophole to let you go, but this is not a loophole that's going to work more than once. The bad guy's not that dumb. And so then he lets Aragon go. But if he had, like, taken Aragon at that point in time, then the resistance forces would basically be fucked. So I'm like, my poor boy, so used and abused. And everybody hates him because his dad was Galbatorix's right hand asshole, and so everyone's like, he's just like his father. So then, like, Murtagh's whole thing is trying to fight the inheritance of his father's legacy, whereas Aragon is actually living up to the inheritance of his father's, because his dad was actually like this really super cool dragon rider who killed Murtagh's dad after he stole his woman. And so yeah, and then there's Rowan, who, our third boy, who is also like living out. He wanted to live out his life tending the farm that he would have inherited from his father and just living a simple life of our Samwise Gamgee turned hammer assassin. And now has to be more and greater than his father ever thought that he would need to be. So a lot of different levels going on. And I thoroughly enjoyed
that series in a long time.
It's so good, though.
It is very good.
Also,
it is very, very good.
The more I read of it, the more that, like, some of the criticisms I remember people say, like, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, like, Christopher Paolini wrote it as a teenager, and you can tell. But the only evidence they bring about is Galbatorix, but I'm like, this is a Final Fantasy supervillain name, and adults made Final Fantasy. I don't understand. Like, it's a really well-built and thought-out fantasy world. Can we point to tons of Lord of the Ring inspiration? Yes, but please show me an epic fantasy from the 90s and 2000s that lacks Lord of the Rings influence.
Pretty sure that's impossible.
Also, the way he writes dragons and their riders is my ideal way for dragons and their riders to exist. So I've been having a lot of fun with the reread up until the last time I listened to it and realized the roller coaster I'm in for. I may not always remember plot things that happen, but I always remember my emotions associated with a book.
Yeah, I had where with the sports one. I should just start saying the series title. It's called All for the Game, and I think it's in the middle of the third book. There's like a really tense scene, and the thing is that like I had up until this point like read fanfic that like mentioned the scene, like mentioned it in detail of like the points of what happens because they were doing like an alternative version of it, and like still I was sitting having already read it and was doing a reread to catch up for the new series. I was like on the edge of my seat, being like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen to the main character?" As I'm like pulling up to my bus for school, like pulling up to the stop, and then I like had a moment saying, "Like, wait, you know what happens?"
How are they gonna be?
But
I
just,
know
it was
they're
so
gonna
good.
be okay, but are they gonna be okay?
Yeah. It's like, of course the main character is gonna live through this. He has to go play the championship sports ball.
But what if they lose in the semifinals, Tina?
Oh my god, in the new book, there was a
Hold on. I
massive
love
twist I
and
wasn't
hate.
expecting.
I both love and hate sports series that's like, no, we're gonna subvert that they always get to the finals by making them lose first. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, how dare you
Oh my
be
god.
realistic but be hurt my team players this way.
Oh my god. The most recent book did, where, because it was like, you know, there was one trilogy, it was supposed to be finished, and then the author decided to do a second trilogy, right? Which is the one I'm, you know, currently reading, just finished book 2, and I reread the first trilogy, you know, to catch up, right? And in the end of the last trilogy, they, you know, went up against the evil team, and they, like, won the game, and everything was handy-dandy, right? The thing is that, like, this second series takes place with a completely different team who is watching the hero team and the villain team like from that like on the TV screens basically, and have personal connections to it, but like we're not seeing the games like in person. And it's a thing of like, you know, a character will casually mention like, oh yeah, the villain team like used like they basically faked sick to not play against the team they were supposed to, and their next game is going to be against the hero team. And also like the villain team has been like going through a bunch of shit where like character like team members are just dropping like flies, and so everyone's like, what the hell is going to happen? And and then they're like, the book is like, okay, while that's happening and that game is happening and you are very excited to figure out what happens during that game where these two, no, another game is going on with the main POV characters, so they're busy worrying about their own game. And then just like character goes and looks at TV and you're like, oh shit. Because like it's a thing of like one of the first descriptions is that it takes 3 staff members to clean up all the blood on the floor during this game. And I was like, what do you mean? What happened? Because like that is more extreme. Like that game in this one that we didn't even experience is actually more severe than the, you know, the one that with, you know, the heroes won and all that, you know, like so good, so good. This author though loves to torture us, where like because the POV characters are like the love interests, right? And we flip back and forth between them, but they don't. It's not like a set thing of like every other chapter, right? It's sort of like dependent on the story, and this author loves to do where like something bad will be happening to one character in the in the pair,
when authors do that.
but we're in the other character's POV, and the other character is like, I wonder what's going on with my crush. And I'm like, I'm also wondering, why are we not in his head? Like, get me back there. Like, and then you'll switch POV, and that character will take forever to say what happened. And you're like, God damn it. Like, it's good, but it's also torturous. It was a fun thing, too, of, oh my god. There was, in the last book, the love, like, there's one character that we know both of them from the previous series, but one more so than the other. And the one that was like not as written about, Jeremy is his name. He like even in his own like model like thoughts isn't very forthcoming about like his own life. Like he's one of those people who like helps out everyone else, but then every so often he'll make little comments where you're like, what's going on with you? what's your backstory? Something happened, you know? And it was a thing of, in this book, like, the other part of the couple turns to him and is like, Jeremy, tell me about drug. Maybe I'll say what the specific drug. He's like, Jeremy, tell me about the cocaine. And then Jeremy proceeds to say he gives his entire backstory, and the cocaine is the least controversial part. And I was sitting there like, my God.
Tell
It's
me
a
about
fun
the
series.
powder,
It's so much fun. It's so like it's one of those things where like the author is so good at writing stuff that is so like over the top and just like ridiculous, but it works. Like it's always believable, and yeah, it's a fun dark time. But yeah, I love the violent sports boys.
It just has to be believable.
Mm-hmm.
No, I said nothing ever has to be realistic. It just has to be believable.
Yeah, believable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh.
Remember how I said after we went live, I'd remember the 8 things that I need so that I can do my admin-y things today?
Yeah.
I started remembering them
it.
one by one. I'd like get up, remember it, sit down. Get up, remember it, sit down. So that's what I was doing while I was listening to you.
Yeah, well, I was listening to you.
One of the things I like about Haikyuu is that they don't really have evil teams. I think, if I remember correctly, they do have rival teams or like teams we definitely want them to win. But then, like through the arc of them preparing for the match and everything, there's a lot of the teams where it's like, no, I like those boys too. And then you're like, I don't know who I want to win anymore. You're like, I want my boys to win, but also, especially when they do the tournament arcs, because then it's like your fave teams go up against your other faves, and you're like, oh no. So it's like, biasly, I always want the main team to win, but I don't know who I want them to go up against sometimes. And it's great. It's a fun time.
It's a fun one with All for the Game, where like the villain team, they're fully a cult. And then like they're fully a cult. Like it's to the point where even the main character at one point starts poking fun at one of the members of that team, being like, "You guys are really a cult. You're really a cult," and it's a very funny scene in the midst of a bunch of dark shit going on. But yeah, no, they're fully a cult, and but then it's a fun thing of, especially with this sequels trilogy, where like they're playing in a completely different district between like the last ones and the cult, and it's a thing too of a bunch of characters just have no idea like how bad that team is and like the stuff surrounding it, and so it's a thing of like they're like like in comparison, their like bullies on other teams are like so funny, because like oh my god, I'm trying to think of a good example, but yeah, it's just so funny to oscillate between like the wild shit that the cult is doing and then like some guy like, you know, like being like, oh, you play bad, you know, like just like the stupidest like especially because like, yeah, like it's one of those things where like the bully characters never make good jokes, like but
if you're gonna
and then you're just kind of embarrassed on their behalf. It's like you're college age and you can't come up with a good burn. Come on, like. But yeah,
it's in the villain applications. If you're gonna be evil, you gotta be funny.
Yeah, I mean,
balance.
It is a thing of the main character from this second trilogy was the previous, like, he was in the cult team and he was the main villain's like lackey. And they were all players on the team. And I'm like, I should have known that he was going to be redeemed eventually, because he was spectacularly bad at like trying to razz like the hero characters. Like, there's a whole thing where like one of the hero like team's characters is like adopted, right? And for a short while like did not have like a last name because of adoption shenanigans. And so, like, this lackey character just keeps calling him, like, Doe, like John Doe. And it's like, come on, guys. Like, there's so much better that we could just generally, like, but yeah, it's good. It's so much fun.
RP,
I'm so, like,
I was gonna ask RP if because he said he was working on his entertainment center, so you could start your art, so that your TBR could start enticing you away from your video games.
Yeah.
How's
So I have to go up to my parents' house to start working on it, which is like an hour away. So I'm going up there next weekend,
Oh, okay.
and I'll hopefully get most of it done.
So you're like, are you building it from scratch at your parents' house and then bringing it back to your house?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Because when you were saying over the weekend, I thought that like you had ordered it and then you would build it in your house, but
No.
I have much more faith in its durability with you building it from scratch, just because.
Yeah,
Furniture
my
now.
table ended up pretty good. I
Awesome.
built that from scratch, and it's pretty damn nice.
If I had the energy, I would build, like, I really want a bookshelf, and I'm like, I could build a bookshelf. I know how to build a bookshelf from scratch. But I just do not have time or the energy to build a bookshelf from scratch. So
Yeah, my next project is going to be replacing or rebuilding all of my bookshelves, because they're either old or just like built when I was either in a rush or like in high school.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of like little imperfections and cracks and stuff that as an adult, it's like, I need to fix that. I want to fix that.
Yeah. I can fix that.
Yes.
So.
Yep. So, but yeah. Yep.
I have so many plans for these bookshelves, but it's required me to just have like time to do it, and so this week is the plan to finally get them up. I have the brackets actually sitting on top of my printer there, but I'm gonna paint them like each a different color, and yeah, I've had me and my dad's stud finder have been having a lot of fun with these walls, because I discovered that like right where the stud is, like where this guy would have been over here, there's like a bunch of electrical shit.
Oh.
And thankfully I used the stud finder because I could have gotten electrocuted. But yeah, and so it's been a lot of measuring and remeasuring and sorting and getting fed up with it, you know. But soon, because currently, I think I mentioned this last stream, but currently all of my books are sitting in like the top shelf of my closet, and so my queer books are all back in the closet. And I'm like, we really need to get them out of there. Especially because these shelves are going to be rainbow brackets, like they gotta come out to their like pride parade.
Since I no longer have at least one child attached to me a day, one of the things that I have chosen to do, other than just be a sad mom who will now become overbearing, you have to watch movies with me once a week, is that I'm like, this means that the family room can be like more my area to exist, where I just also entertain children occasionally. And so I went on Amazon and I made myself a wish list for Sam's office area, and one of the things on there are like a couple different bookshelves and stuff, because I know how I want to sort of redecorate the garage den. One of the things I'm thinking of doing is getting rid of the couch, because as nice as having the couch nest is, it's not practical for everyday use, and we don't have people sleep over enough for that. Which, when CB heard that, and she was very sad I was getting rid of her couch. She has laid claim to it, but
I had fun sleeping in one of the child's room because the cat kept mistaking her for me, or reverse me for them, and so it was a thing.
Even sat on that couch? Did we have that couch when you visited?
Yeah.
No,
I slept on it the very first night.
No.
But yeah, no, it was fun because the cat would like jump in, freeze, and jump right back out. but yeah, no, it's
But Chris was teasing me. He was like, I'm a little envious that you get your like she shed area. And I'm all like, it's big enough. You can set up a little office on the other side. And he's like, I don't know, maybe. And he's like, I don't want to move the computer into there. I'm like, no, don't do that. We've already discussed why moving your desktop in there like doesn't function as well as you having a little desk area in our room. I'm saying we get like the family desktop that's technically the computer for everyone, so that while I'm on my laptop in the garage den, I can stare at the children while they use the computer for their homework. And I'm like, and you do that. And he's still like but he's like that with everything I plan with the house sometimes, because I was like, we could turn the garage den into a family area, and he was very like, he's not against it, he's just kind of a grumbly bear because he himself can't visualize it very well. But then like I do it, and then after I do it, he's like, oh, okay. He's very much a he's got to see it person. So it's like, I've never seen it, but you can't get rid of it, sir. But I want to get things with cup holders. No, Fox, UNCB cannot start a petition to stop me from getting rid of the couch. It's not a thing.
I will say I am kind of anti that couch. I did not have a good sleep on it, so. But I'm also notoriously picky with that kind of thing, so.
So I would not get rid of the couch because it's uncomfy, because that is my nap area. Like, I can curl up on that couch with the dogs surrounding me, and we just sleep sometimes. But so I find the couch comfy. It's just based upon the shape of my garage den and my future plans. It does not work. So. Because whether or not I keep or get rid of the couch will be mine and my husband's decision, not the decision of a petition or anyone else.
Now I really want to see, because I know I showed you guys, like, privately, you and CB, Sam, how when I moved into this place, I, like, used, like, a blueprint website, which I'll link in the comments once we get on a sprint, because it's super handy, because you can put in measurements and everything and make sure everything fits. But now, Sam, I'm so tempted. I'm like, please work up a little blueprint of what it currently is versus your plan, so I can see the difference, because now I'm excited to, like...
I cannot do that because I don't have a specific plan yet. I just have ideas that I...
okay. So. I thought you had, like, specific layout things in mind.
No. That's not how Sam functions. Because I have really, really good spatial awareness. I am a person who can, like if I eyeball the room and I go to the store or something, I can eyeball it and I can tell whether or not it'll fit. And I am like, I have a really high accuracy rate. Like my corner desk, my husband, he was like, I don't know if it's gonna fit there. And I like looked at the measurements and I looked at the corner and I looked at the shape and I'm like, no, it'll fit the way I want it to. And then so when he was looking for his desk, he was like, I don't know what size to get. And I looked at his thing and I looked at the things and I was like, don't get it bigger than this. But it was like, if we move the bed over 2 inches, you can get this size. So, and that probably comes from having grown up rebuilding parts of the house with my grandfather, because we like built my mother's porches, and so many picnic tables, so many different size wishing wells. Y'all
My
need
thing is that
I can build you a picnic table.
my thing is that like my dad works for and my uncle owns a construction company, but I was also raised on measure 5 times, cut once. So hence the blueprint makers.
Yeah, my grandfather was like measure twice, cut once. But also we can't afford everything at once, and it's like sometimes because I live more by like the way that my dad kind of does it, in which you decide what is your priority and you get your priority, and then you find things that work with that priority, right? So like my sister's computer desk that I have inherited is huge and it's shaped a certain way, right? And what I wanted to do was I wanted a bookshelf that would go like right behind it. But the china cabinet that we were given doesn't won't actually fit there with the air conditioning unit. And I like after I went back there and I eyeballed it and then I looked at the china cabinet, I was like, yeah, we're not gonna fit it in there. So then I was just like, I found something else to do that with. So then I'm like, okay, let me just start looking around for some bookshelves that might fit there, and then I'll find that bookshelf and stuff. So it's my priority are going to be the bookshelves, and I will put the bookshelves I want in the room, and then if the couch works with those bookshelves, we'll keep it. If not, I'll look around, see if I can find furniture that I like with it more. So yeah, it's also like if I plan it all out detailed on the blueprint planner and then I can't find furniture within our price range at the time I need it, it could disappear with the way that the retail market works. Like it could be gone, and it's just a lot easier and more flexible, especially when you're on a budget, to just work with what you got as you go. And maybe when you're thrifting or something, like when we were looking for stuff for our daughter's room, somebody on Facebook Market happened to be getting rid of a dresser and desk combo, and they were both white and pink, and so we got those on a really good deal. And it was like, yeah, cool. So now she has a dresser and a desk. And then my husband was like, will that fit in her room? And I'm like, don't you worry, I will make it work. And she and I have made it work. So
and it does work.
yeah, a life of living in small houses and small areas and trying to make do with everything that's how I function. But yeah, so we'll do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Hey yo, we're back. Sorry, I had been paying attention to the timer, and then I was like, "Ooh, I should take this sticker off this book." It's a price sticker. Ooh, ooh. Aha! It has come off. I kind of wanted the plain white sticker underneath so that I could label it. I have separated them.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yay!
See if I can get it back on now. Yeah. You guys can say what you did during the break while I perform sticker surgery.
I have been and am currently updating my like notes for my comic with the like color palette for everything. So like what color is the character's skin, what color is this character's hair, etc., etc. Because I have it all saved in my like program in like a way that is impossible to back up anywhere. And so I'm having to take my own notes, and it's obnoxious because I have to have the program pulled up and then my notes pulled up on my phone because it can't be on the same device because if I click away that it disappears, and I'm doing for every single color. And the good thing it's a comic that I've mostly kept cohesive, but there's also a bunch of them that I just didn't label. I just like threw the color in while I was working, and I'm like, I have a feeling too that when I did that, I was like, I'll go back and label it later. I'll remember what this color was for. I don't.
So I went and did my posted my beta application
I did already apply.
on both Discord servers. Um, Thank you, Sam, for putting it in the chat.
You're welcome.
And then I remembered I should at least have D&D tomorrow, so I made a basic plan for that.
Nice. I will apply to that next sprint. I started writing because I started working out at the gym again, and I keep track of it in this notebook of how far I got into the routine and how I felt at the end of it so that I can kind of keep track of where my base health is. And I'm pretty sure this is the only reason that like going back to the gym is the only reason I'm currently functioning as well as I am throughout all of these storms, because when my physical health is better, my baseline for my bad and good migraine days is better. It is like wild how different it is. But so I wanted to do that, but I like started doing it because at first I was able to fit the first two on one page, and then I'm like, oh, I'll probably be able to fit the third one on there. But no, because I got a lot more done last Tuesday that I did. So I was like, in order to appease my sub threshold of OCD, I erased that all and started it over on the next page. And then I was labeling these by taking the price tag stickers off. So my oldest has also decided apparently his school has weights in their gym. My middle school did not have weights in the gym. But
Yeah.
I wish my middle school had weights in there.
No, right? So that has like
Actually, we might have on the boys' side of the gym because it was gender segregated.
Ours was not gendered. They just did not have weights in my middle school. But it has apparently inspired him to want to do strength training and working out and stuff at the gym. So I made an appointment with one of their trainers because I was like, I know my regimen, but I don't know like what is good for a teenager. So I wanted safe guidance for that, because like I'm like I can work out with him. And he and I, after we met with the trainer, basically we have the same workout routine, just at different weight levels. I currently am ahead of him in weights. We will see how long this lasts. But it was really funny because my oldest has throughout much of his life just physically been the scrawniest of all three siblings, and he's always been at peace with that. Well, like on the way to the gym, he looked at me. He goes, I've been working out at the gym at school. And I'm like, okay, cool. Which is also when he told me they have weights. And I was like, excuse me, what? But he goes, I can beat my sister in arm wrestling now. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. He's like, for my brother. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a big goal. His little brother who's been able to lift a 5-pound weight since he was 2. Better watch out. His older brother is coming for him, but I love his goals and how like relaxed he is about it. So I told him that one thing I require for going to the gym is that he also has to keep his little notebook. So, which this is my handwriting of his regimen, and this is his handwriting, which looks a lot like my handwriting used to be. So I was like, my love, we must work on that. But it's fine. I'm also keeping track on my phone, so. I'm sorry, my child as a teenager has hit you like a ton of bricks, Fox. His emotional and mental maturity over like the past 6 months has completely floored me. I'm like, oh my god, I have a teenager. Like he's so much more chill. And it's like he had emotional intelligence before, but his emotional intelligence now is just sort of like deeper. And he started like anticipating other people's reactions and stuff in a more than, because kids always anticipate people's reactions. But before it was like, oh, there might be consequences to my actions. Like if I do this, I might get in trouble, or I want to do this so that someone will be happy. But now it's like on this like deeper level of him understanding why people are going to react the way that they react and everything. So it's wild to see that growth.
Mm-hmm.
Also, his sass, because he understands people on a deeper level now, his sass has become more skilled. And I'm like, wait a second, hold on now. These are the years that, like, stereotypically you would surpass me, and I am not ready for this. So. I gotta stay at the top of my game, work out my own sass skills. Chat, what's y'all get done today? Jessica, the mom duties be momming, yes. One of my children came in because they wanted their gamer time. They said, I did my reading today. And I'm like, okay, did you do your homework? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, I'm glad you did your reading, but you also have to do your homework. I have not seen the child since. I'm going to have to call them down during the next sprint to make sure they did their homework. To be fair, they had like 1 day of school last week, and that was it. Because, well, no. I'm trying to remember. So they didn't have school Monday because it was a holiday. No, I think, yeah, they had 1 day of school, and that day was like a 2-hour delay, and then they just canceled the rest of the week. And I was like, oh, okay. That's fine. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you were going to say something. Jessica got absolutely no reading done that sprint, but I did get mom duties done. Hopefully I'll finish reading on the next one. I believe in you. Oh, I gotta pick our next timer. I gotta pick the right tab first. I'm always going to the...
That's always helpful.
Right tab would help.
That's the Flash Fiction free for all time, but that's not gonna help. I don't need any of these tabs open. Oh, this is the lyrics to one. For anybody who didn't watch the Flash Fiction free for all, I highly recommend doing so. It was very fun. I gave up. Well, Fox managed to make me give up on my #1 goal of fucking with him that round. And I wrote quite possibly one of the most Sam Flash fictions ever to be written upon this channel. And I had a great time with it. So.
And I have been roped into potentially mixing up the challenge a bit, adding some stuff and things and messaging people, if I remember correctly. I'd have to rewatch the stream to figure out what exactly I agreed to.
They threw out so much. Any ideas not formally DM'd to me don't count. like if they are not DM'd to me, if they are not noted down in Milanote, they are lost to the void of just throwing ideas out. So that is how I run my life. But yeah, they were like, it was brainstorming some idea to mess with Fox by having a third party DM us to figure out whose style we should imitate to try to.
Oh yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
And
I know my co-host and none of them have the free time to study each other's writing that well. So
I think that would be part of the fun, though. I think I also said like having where like I message everyone like an additional like thing to add in. I think there was something on that line, something about a mystery, and so yeah. But I'll just rewatch that that part of the stream and see exactly, because I remember having a good idea about it, but I don't remember exactly what it was because I was in midterm hell.
I honestly have no idea. That was the stomach flu around the house ago. So trying to remember. But
I shall have to actually just watch it for the first time because I was way too sick to actually pay attention to it.
That's fair. I will I normally do it the day of, but I was trying to focus on finishing something that night. But I will set up in the server. We have a Flash Fiction free-for-all section in the server, and you can check out all of the past Flash Fiction free-for-alls there. And I need to set up the one for last Monday so that it is there for everybody to watch and read. But now I have the song stuck in my head. It's been 1 week since you looked at me. Such a good song. Where did you go? I clicked on it literally on accident today, and now I can't find it. I'm so salty about this. Oh, it should be in the office. What the fuck did you just do, Discord? There it is. Yeah, previous 4FAs.
Now that joining the Discord isn't through Ko-Fi, should we start sharing the Discord link in the chat so that people can join if they want?
Well, one, these are questions to be DM'd or asked not live.
Ah, okay.
Two, I was going to formally announce it in my newsletter tonight, a week ahead of time.
I thought it had already been announced. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Spoilers for the newsletter, I guess.
But I have been, if you are part of the server, I have been letting people go ahead and sharing it with their friends and stuff. So I don't care if anybody asked for the link, but I myself have just not announced it or said anything on my streams because I've been trying to do my newsletter, but everything has been happening.
Mm.
What is everybody typing about? Talk to me.
I'm changing color codes from RGB to hex because that is my preferred color code.
That's fair.
And it is a bit tedious, but Google is making it slightly easier.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But it's not really much to report on.
Gotcha.
What about you, RP? What are you up to?
Yeah.
So I decided to like redo how I'm going to like release the manuscript. So I am like redoing my beta reader sections.
Oh, okay. So like
Oh, like how much
like
each
readjusting
round
the
is.
chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like copy pasting from like what was supposed to be like section 5. Well, now it's going to be section 3. So I'm like
Gotcha.
switching stuff back and forth.
Oh, interesting. Like you're messing around with the order of the
No, not the
sections,
order,
or
just the
just the size?
Yeah, the size.
Oh, okay. So like stuff that would have been in number 3 because it like or shrunk is going to. I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
Can you hear her?
Yeah.
This is how they have been, like, all day. They've just been, like... And I don't know if you guys were here, it was either last Monday or the Monday before, but you could literally hear Artemis yelling at her because she was getting too close to her. Like, sounded like she was going to, like, you know, go full on cat, which I knew she wasn't because I've been watching them, but... And now this is just them. Okay, I'll turn... Hold on. I don't want to give people motion sickness, so...
That would be preferable, yes.
Give me a sec to reset my camera over there. Don't know what it's gonna look like. Oh, there we go. Haha, I'm good. It's like I set it up weekly. But yes, I just had to. This is like the first time that. Like, normally what happens is Artemis is already sleeping, and then Riju sneaks her head by Artemis, and then once Artemis is like awake, she leaves Riju. So this is the first time that it's ever been where like Artemis has curled into Riju first. And Riju stopped snoring, and Artemis sort of stopped and looked at her and was like, "You better not be awake." What kind of tsundere cat have I raised? We are 2 hours and 30 minutes in, and you two look very focused. So we're going to go ahead and do our last sprint, which we will hit the 3-hour mark. So we're going to be a little later than normal, but it's fine. It's fine. We had a good time talking about books today.
Yeah.
Right, so 3, 2, 1, go. Hey yo, and we're back. So I'll go ahead and say what I did real quick. And I went through my books that I got from the library and was looking at my Libby hole, try to start getting all my ducks in a row for my March year of favorite reads. The Marvels is interesting. It is a huge ass book. It's like yay big. Half of it is black and white illustrations, no words. The other half of it is words, no illustrations. And according to the blurb, it's like these are two standalone stories that have an interlocking narrative. And I'm like, how are they? Okay, so that one's going to be an interesting one to read next month. I also had a playlist going of 90s music, I think. I don't know. It was 1 week by Bare Naked Ladies, and then it was just like a mix. And I was chilling to things I grew up listening to. So, Tina R.P. has. Oh, and I applied to be one of your betas, R.P.
Yay! I spent that sprint working on my questionnaire for betas for the first section because now the section is like twice as long.
That's fair.
So I need to add more questions to it.
What did I do? I finished up that color codes thing I was doing, and then I went through my list of friends and was just messaging people back because between being sick and midterms, I also caught up a little bit in the Discord because I've been kind of MIA, but and I had a friend was asking me about the limited edition library card, so I was giving him all the details.
If they accidentally pushed you too far up, you can repost it tomorrow. That's fair.
I did make sure it was the last thing I replied to, but I can just bump it again.
If the conversation like continues naturally, then it's perfectly fine for him to like repost it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's no biggie. I was just reassuring him that was fine. Yes, we'll go ahead and borrow Marvels. Sorry, my library hold was just like, oh, you said you wanted this as soon as possible. It's ready now. And I'm like, sure. Like, I won't take it now. Now I have to mark that I took it or I'm going to forget. Marvels, that's what it was. I've already forgotten what it was. So it sounds like we all got quite a bit done today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a productive stream.
Yes. I'm probably going to try to curl up and because I am so close to finishing this 4-book. I'm probably going to try to get this book done tonight. I was really excited to read the rest of it, and then I was like, oh, I want to go ahead and get all of this critiquing I need done before the Storytellers Hearth, and I finished all of my critiquing Monday, and then as I was finishing, I had 2 more chapters to critique. They were only 3 pages each, and then the first child came downstairs, and they were like, I don't feel good, and I was like, okay, just lay right there, and I'm like, okay, and I set that child up. And then I finished the critiquing, and as I finished the critiquing, I was like, I can't touch the book until I'm certain I will not infect anybody. So I'm very much looking forward to finishing it. And then all of my February reads for the year faves will be done. And next month I will be reading The Marvels, The Tea Dragon Society, Full Metal Alchemist, Saga. I technically read Saga last year for the year of favorites, but I know some more issues have come out since I caught up. So I'm going to catch up on that. And then The Girl from the Sea. I'm going to reread Huki because that's my favorite comic of all time now. I have volume 1. The children have volumes 2 and 3, so I will probably try borrow it from them. They can be surprisingly stingy with me sometimes when I want to borrow their books. I think it's just they enjoy a reversal of the power. So I'm like, y'all are mean. And then PTSD Radio and a side character's love story. I am very intrigued by a side character's love story because I am notorious for liking the second male lead more than either of the main characters. And I'm actually dealing. Well, okay, so in the webtoon Reporting for Duty Duchess, there is a side character named Nathan who I absolutely fucking adore, and I love him so much. And he's so self-aware of himself and like everyone else. There's like a third there's a third male character who also likes the female lead, but like Nithin is sitting there, and while he likes her, he's also supporting the primary lead. So he's being supportive of the third, and like he escorts him out. He's like, "Come on, let's just go. You're just hurting yourself, man." And he's like, "But you like her too." And he's like, "Yes, but I also like things how they are, because like if there's anybody worthy of her, it's this motherfucker." He's like, "So I'm perfectly content. You, on the other hand, keep hurting your own feelings. You keep breaking your own heart. Why do you do this to yourself?" And I'm like, I love him so much. So I'm hoping it's a side character that I like. I'm hoping it's a kind of side character that I would usually be like, but I want them to be happy. So, but we shall see. We shall see. I really enjoy the Year of Favorites readathon because it's just a small group of people who we're all letting each other know what our favorite books are, and not everybody likes everyone else's books, and which we all expected. Some of us are actually extremely surprised and happy when the others like our favorite books. We're all like, "Oh, you do like it? Yes, we equally have questionable taste." But yeah, so it's such a nice, like, chill and kind of healthy server to just discuss the books. And like if somebody doesn't like a book, we're like, "Hey, I just didn't like this book. This is kind of why." And then normally the person who like recommended the book will just be like, "Oh yeah, no, I get that." And then that's kind of like it. Nobody like starts to get defensive. Nobody gets mad or anything. It's just kind of like this really just nice, chill acknowledgement and stuff. And I like it so much. That's kind of what inspired me to like want to start the book talk streams. So I recommend anyone interested to join us. But yeah, most people only pick one book a month. You're not expected to pick one book per person like I do. I just like doing that. So. Cozy mystery. What's the cozy mystery called?
Yeah.
How did chat do? Yes, Artemis came and joined me, especially when the music came on, because she. This actually used to be a much more well-known fact back when I was doing good and did it more with her, but she actually likes to dance. That's one reason she comes to me when I'm streaming, is because a lot of times when I'm working and stuff, I have music playing, and when I have energy, so I'm actually a really active person. I like to move and stuff, and so I dance when I work, and she likes to dance. So actually, if you're ever curious and you want to go back, I was dancing with her for part of the sprint. So. I'm almost done. I've got a few pages left, but it's getting kind of hard to hold the book because my hands are. Oh, I hate that!
Oof.
It's such a reader-specific, like, woe in life, but it sucks so much when you're reading and it's getting good, but your hands are too cold. But yeah, so we should go ahead and say I won't make you guys do outros today.
Oh, okay. During the last sprint, I was thinking like, oh goodness, I am too busy doing other things to prepare for that.
I don't want to cause another cough plague on accident. The Murder Before Christmas. Don't know why I decided to read it now. Oh, but that sounds interesting. 26% in. Ooh. All right. So just go ahead, say goodbye to the lovely peoples, and then we will go ahead and head out.
Goodbye, lovely people. What do you expect me to
Bye,
say?
everyone.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye.